we are stepping up the level of our services. Our goal is to treat your loved ones with the respect they deserve. We are taking our services to new heights. We are stepping in a new direction. Step into the new millennium with Golden Gate Funeral, where service begins and never ends.
Hello and welcome to Ask the Undertaker, an open, honest look into funeral service brought to you by Golden Gate Funeral Home and Crematory, with facilities in Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Tallulah, Louisiana. I'm your host, John Beckwith Jr., and I'm joined today by the Pastor A. Louis Eaton of the Church of Living God, Temple 280.
Blessings on you.
And we have Mr. Clifton Rogers, our Customer Service Director.
How are you?
And we have our Chief Financial Officer and our sister, Miss Carolyn Haynes.
Hello, everyone.
We have Mr. Trenard Blanks, our funeral planner.
I am happy to be here, Dr. Beckwith, and thanks for having me.
All right. Today we're going to come from John, the 14th chapter and the 2nd verse. Dr. Eaton, if you read that for us.
The Word of God says, I go to prepare a place for you.
All right. Carolyn, we should come into the funeral home to make prearrangements. That's what we're going to talk about today. Why should we come into the funeral home to do that?
Well, John, you want to meet the people that are going to service you and your family.
Okay.
At the time that arrangements need to be finalized, you will be coming to the funeral home. This gives you a chance to meet them before that day.
We do have pre-need agents that will come out to your home.
Yes, we do.
But we're saying it's even better to come into the funeral home.
Yes.
Dr. Eaton, you actually get to meet the owners of the funeral home if you come into the place of business.
Yes, sir. Time you walk into the funeral home, the first office you'll see would be that of our CFO.
All right, and I'm right there.
Right there.
I'm right next to you, the very first office.
Right.
And
Very
Carolyn,
first
in
office.
Fort Worth, Texas, we have a beautiful location. We would like you to come by and actually see the
See it.
facility.
Yes, we would. Please walk in and speak with our director there. Our chief funeral director is there waiting to service you. And again, you get to actually meet him before your family needs the arrangements.
And even in Tallulah, Louisiana, Pastor Eaton,
Yes, sir.
you can actually walk into the building.
Yes, sir.
Now, our customer service director, when you walk into our funeral home, you actually get to meet the people who's going to do the service for you. What's some of the departments you'll actually meet there?
Some of our departments at Golden Gate, first, when you walk into our company, you will meet the receptionist, then you will meet a greeter, and then whatever you're there to do, then you will meet that person. If it's a funeral director, a media specialist, someone that does make ready, or a floral shop, it's just whatever you would like to do when you come to Golden Gate, you just let us know, and then we'll be able to service you.
Now, do we actually do tours of the funeral home?
Yes, sir, we do. At any time you can come to any location of Golden Gate Funeral Home, and we will give you a tour.
Now, Carolyn, what person in their right mind takes a tour of a funeral home?
Well, John, we're real proud of our funeral home. It's
Okay.
a beautiful location, and we get that compliment quite often. But you actually want to come in and see where your loved one will be, where you will be. You can walk in and look at our chapel, all of our viewing rooms, and actually see the facilities, meet the people, see all of those beautiful cars that we have that you and your family will be riding in. You actually get to see and touch those items.
Trenard, as a funeral planner, there's a lot of families want to celebrate life.
Right.
And that's what Golden Gate Funeral Home is all about. It's not the idea that someone have passed away, but it's the idea they have lived. What's some of the ideas we have come up with? And I know we do a special show.
Yes,
we
sir.
have a reality show called Best Funerals Ever, where you're one of our stars on that show. What's some of the ideas that we'll be doing on the upcoming show?
On the upcoming show of the Best Funeral Ever, the families we're guaranteed to make sure we celebrate their loved one's life.
Okay.
One that sticks out in particular for me probably would be more of the game show.
Okay, so we're going to give them a little sneak preview
Yeah.
of what's coming.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Let's see what TLC says about this. Go right ahead. Tell us a little bit about, who could have a game show funeral? Is that possible?
Well, here's the deal, Dr. Beckwith. Whatever your loved one life was about,
Okay.
we've had the mourning. Everyone's going to go through a mourning process.
Right.
Once you go through all, then you want to say, I want to celebrate their life and the way how they lived their life, or whatever they did in their life that made them associate their life day to day.
Right.
And we can make that happen. If you're love game shows, we'll go get together and get together, make sure we have a game show theme service for them.
So you're saying that the public can look forward to a game show funeral on the Best Funerals Ever coming up?
That is a strong possibility.
Now, Carol, that's interesting. When you hear that and you hear of a Trinard Blanks, you actually get to come into the funeral home and meet him.
Yes,
If you choose to use Golden Gate Funeral Home, when you prearrange, say, hey, I want to meet the funeral planner that's going to be handling my family. What do you think about that, Carol?
I think that's really great, John, because they will see our best funerals ever. They will see those life celebrations. And there are times that they actually want to meet the person that planned that service, and we make that available to you.
And Clifton, can they actually walk into the showroom, touch a casket, actually see the interior, actually see the car their loved one's going to be riding in, or maybe they're going to be riding in?
Yes, sir. And I mean, even if they have questions and you can't look in a book, you can actually go through our selection. If you have any type of questions, then, we can answer them. It's not like, okay, well, when they leave, oh, well, I should have asked this. If you're there at the facility, you can also come back in. You can call us at any time and ask any question. So I think it's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Eaton, you want to actually walk into the place where your loved one is going to be or where you're going to be?
Yes, sir. I would rather come in and meet the people that is going to be handling my loved one's service. And that make it seem like it's more personal than just business.
Carolyn, security-wise, you're going to actually give the money to the funeral home that's going to be handling the service. Not a sales rep, not someone that's just knocking on your door, not a stranger. You're going to actually meet the funeral home itself.
And that's very important, John, to me and to other people, I'm sure, is that we have been in business for over 33 years. You've seen us in the community, and we've talked to you and let you know that we're not only doing business in the community, we live there. We work there. You'll see us in the grocery store. You'll see us at the movie theater. So we are real people. We've been in business. We've proven that we are trustworthy so that you can actually give us your money and not worry about it going anywhere.
All right. How friendly is the staff, Clifton?
The staff is very friendly at Golden Gate Funeral Home. When you come into our facility, you're always greeted with a warm smile and welcome to Golden Gate Funeral Home. How can I serve you or how can I assist you?
Is training very important at Golden Gate Funeral Home, Pastor Eaton?
Very much so. And every Saturday morning, we have a training session, and we thank God that you are giving us things that have been given to you to help us. And then, just like today, before we came on the show, we had a training session. So that makes it possible for us to let the public know that we do know what we are talking about.
And that's what it's all about.
And that's what it's all
Carolyn,
about.
people you can actually trust. You can actually see every department that we have at the funeral home. And one of the three things we talk about every Ask Undertaker show is pre-need. Why do you think, Carolyn, everybody needs a pre-need?
Well, the very first thing, John, is financial.
Financial.
You take care of all of your finances in life. You need to take care of your finances for death. It's your funeral. And then one of the important things with the finance, John, is that you freeze today's cost. You can walk into our funeral home, get a low-end funeral cost funeral, and 20 years from now, your family does not have to pay one more dime for your funeral.
Now, Trinard, do you believe your family should have to pay for your funeral?
I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
That's not fair. I don't think there should be a burden that your family should have to take on for you. I think we should take care of that ourselves. Because if I should be able to decide what I want at my funeral, I don't think at that moment they have the right mindset to consider all these things that are going on to make these final decisions for you. And so they're going to have all these different burdens going on, and they may not get what you actually want. At that particular time, you want to make sure you get what you want, and they are able to go through the process and naturally, as we all would do, and make sure they go through it without the burden of worrying about this and that. That's a lot of pressure.
You agree with that, Clifton? There is a lot of pressure that comes when, you deal with this every day. Families come in there at an at-need situation. Do you believe that's unfair to them, that maybe the deceased person should have made these arrangements ahead of time?
I really do. And then even then, what happens is 9 times out of 10, some families come in with not any knowledge of knowing what's going on. And so when your loved one is living, he or she should do it on their own, just in case. So if you have several children, the children are going back and forth, our mom wanted this, our dad wanted that, when actuality, they didn't want any of that.
And mom and dad should make that decision ahead of time.
Right, yes.
What's another reason why someone should buy a pre-need? We talked about financial.
And then emotional.
Okay, tell me about the emotions that some of the families go through, Pastor.
Families sometimes come in on the worst day of their lives.
Okay.
Trying to make funeral arrangements.
And we say it's the worst day of their lives
Yes.
because they just lost a loved one.
They just lost a loved one.
I can't think of what's worse than losing a loved one.
No, and that's like saying, okay, I'm finna go buy a house.
Okay.
Or go buy a car.
On the worst day of
your life.
life.
On the worst day of their lives. And they, their mindset is not there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be unfair to try to sell someone something at a time like that, Clifton?
Yes, it would.
That's not right.
Right. And their knowledge, thought process, and then, I mean, you come in and you just like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that.
Right.
And then a lot of people go off of what someone else has told them. Well, my experience was, or you have to do
So they're
these
listening to
things.
people that may not even have
Correct.
anything to do with their
Correct.
arrangements.
Yes,
and
sir.
Carolyn, you see this every day as a film director. The emotional side of making decisions. Who wants to make an emotional decision?
John, you can't even make any daily decisions.
Okay.
You got up this morning and you probably had to go through a checklist just to make sure, okay, did I put my clothes on? Did I brush my teeth? Now I'm really ready to go. You are literally out of your mind when your loved one passes away. And as we've stated here before, it is truly unfair of you to leave that emotional burden on your family. As Clifton said, they walk in there and they have so many things they have to go back and get. You should do that and have everything in one place so that your loved one can pick it up, walk into the funeral home, and simply set the date and time.
Janelle, you talked about the different things you would want done. And your family may not even know what those things are.
Right.
How important is to have my wishes at my funeral?
Well, at my homegoing service, at my funeral, I would like to make sure that everything I want done is taken care of.
Okay.
Because if you put that pressure on someone else, they're going to assume what you want. And I personally would hate for to get there and they have this big open casket. That's not my desire. My desire is to have a great photo shot of me and have my friends and family and loved ones can enjoy the moment and have a great memorial service. I don't want to have everyone remember me at that moment. That's a really, that's something personal for me.
Right.
You can make it however you want it to be. I want the desires to be how I specifically want them to be, and who I want there and who I do not want there. That needs to be
You
addressed.
want to make that decision. You
Yes,
don't
I
want to
do.
leave that decision up to the Undertaker.
No, sir. I
You
don't.
want to make that decision. What about you, Clifton? What do you want at your funeral? Janelle said, don't open his casket, have more of a memorial service type. What about you?
Well, I would prefer the viewing to be at the beginning.
Okay, so you want to be viewed, but you want to do it at the
At the
beginning of the
beginning.
service.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. Why at the beginning, not at the end?
I choose the beginning because you have people from all over who will be there.
Okay,
The family has chosen these selections.
okay.
It takes a burden off of the family once the body is viewed,
Okay.
because at the end, it's like the sermon has been rendered to the family for
Right.
comfort, but you're not getting comfort once the casket is open at
So
the
you're saying
end.
once that casket is open, you forgot all
The
about the
emotional-
sermon, the songs, the
and
remarks.
Everything, all
Everything comes
emotionals,
back.
they flare back up.
What about you, Pastor? Beginning or end of the service?
I want mine at the beginning.
At the beginning.
And then once they close, I want them just have a good old-fashioned celebration.
So you want to be at the beginning. You want to be at the beginning. What about you, Carol?
I actually want it at the end.
You want it at the end. Now, why
want-
at the end instead of at the beginning?
I personally want to see my loved one one more time. I'm not going
Okay.
to see him anymore on this
You're
side.
going to sit through a 2-hour service, and then you want to end with seeing your loved one.
That I do, because it's about them. I love the words of comfort. I love the sermon and the eulogy, but that's about my loved one. And personally, I want to see him this one last time.
And you know us, we'll come in late.
Yeah.
If I come in late at Clifton's funeral or at Pastor Eaton's,
No.
I'm not going to see the
gonna see
deceased
him.
person. It's just not going to happen. And if I come to your funeral, I'm not going to see you at all.
No.
I better say something to you now.
Exactly.
Now, Carol, I want mine open the whole time. I want y'all concentrating on me. This is my funeral, not the eulogist time. It's not the soloist time. I know they're going to try to clown. It's about me. You keep me open the whole time. I want everybody crying. I want y'all on the floor the whole thing. Y'all need to be sad that I died. Don't be in there trying to celebrate. You need to be hurt. Mr. Beckwith passed away. I need y'all a little emotional. I mean, make me feel like y'all love me, if nothing else. What do you think about that, Carol?
And one thing, too, with that, John, just as here, we've all expressed what we want.
Okay.
You have to write these things down, because
Right.
we're telling each other now, and you'll tell your family, but as a funeral director, I tell you, I see it all the time. They come in and say, Mama said. But because there's nothing in writing, it can be disputed. So make sure everything is in writing, witnessed and notarized, and give it to a person you trust. So you can have that funeral open so you can be the star of the show.
So we have 4 different opinions between us, and we all work at a funeral home.
Exactly.
Right.
You can imagine what a family is going through at that time. So we're saying don't allow your family to go through that, Pastor.
That's right.
Make these arrangements yourself. We said 3 reasons why, Carolyn. We said financially, emotionally, and your
wishes.
This is the biggest thing. I mean, we have to talk about this. Is insurance, Pastor Eaton.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what insurance is for. What is life insurance for?
Life insurance is for the living.
For the living.
For the living. It's not for us to be burying our loved ones with.
So you should not use your life insurance to bury someone with.
Sir.
Now, 90% of people that's watching us right now, that's the reason they purchased life insurance,
And
was for the funeral.
Right, and this would have been passed down to us all along that our insurance was for burial. But we got to remember the family have to live after we gone. So when we have that insurance policy, we have left an inheritance to our family, and we shouldn't take our inheritance and pay for a funeral.
Now, Cliff, I see those commercials all the time. Buy life insurance for funeral purposes. Now we're on Ask Undertaker saying that's not the case.
Exactly.
But we are the experts when it comes to funeral service. We're the ones you're going to actually come and see. We see these families every day take their life insurance policies, Cliff, and spend it all on funerals. And nothing is left for the family. What does the family need that money for?
The family needs the money for expenses if they have any children.
Okay.
Home, taxes, cars.
Those things still need to be paid for.
Yes, sir.
So, Carol, if I spend it all on a funeral, what's going to pay all other bills?
There is nothing, John, and we really are trying to get over to the people that your income brought your income in to pay all of the bills. You took care of your family in life. We're telling you with this insurance policy, take care of your family in death.
Shanard, do you think insurance is a good investment?
Absolutely.
Okay, what makes it such a great investment?
Dr. Beckwith, I think that it's one of the greatest investments you could place into your life for your loved one because it's fair.
Okay.
It's fair. You want to leave your loved one here. Either some are in a situation they can leave their loved one a life that they were not able to live for themselves.
Okay.
And it's not fair for them to have to pay your past bills, and this takes care of them.
Because if you don't leave me any money, I have to use my money to pay for these things.
Pay for everything, and you have to live. You have to live after the funeral. The family has to live and go to school. They have to eat. They have to, that's one of the best investments you can have in your life. It really is.
Carolyn, who pays for the kids to go to school if you pass away? What takes the place of your income?
That insurance policy that you have purchased for your family. You love to say, if you really love me, purchase $1 million insurance policy and make John Beckwith Jr. the beneficiary. I am going to love you. I'm going to cry as hard as I need to at that funeral. But again, we're really serious, y'all. Your family has to live. Your children have to go to college. They even have to get up the next day to prepare for school, lunch money, school clothes. So we really have to take care of our families. Again, you take care of them in life. Take care of them in death.
Yeah. One of the biggest mistakes we make with insurance, Pastor Eaton, is having the wrong beneficiary. Who should be beneficiary of your insurance?
A person that is over 18 years of age.
So I love my children.
Yes.
But if they're not over 18, they should not be. So how do I take care of my children if I don't leave them as a beneficiary?
Well, you set up a trust for them.
Okay.
And then have someone over that trust that you trust.
Okay.
That would take care of your children in that time.
So, Carol, I have this insurance policy. I can't leave my children beneficiary. Who do I make beneficiary?
The person that you do trust, someone that you have given all of your instructions to, and they are in writing, and they will distribute that money. When that insurance policy comes to them, they won't take that check and spend it on themselves because you trust them. They will make sure that everything is in place for your children. They will put that money in that college fund. They will then pay for school. They will take them to get the school clothing so that everything you need and want done for your children is done.
So it has to be someone you really trust that's going to take care of business.
Yes, sir.
And Cliff, how often have we seen at the funeral home where the wrong beneficiary didn't use the money?
Daily.
They just took off with it, basically. They decided, listen, I'm the beneficiary, I don't have to use that money. That happens quite often, doesn't it?
That's daily. It happens daily.
Trenard, just because I'm your next of kin, just because I'm your spouse, I'm your child, doesn't make me trustworthy, does it?
Absolutely not. That should be one of the last. To be honest with you, that should be one of the very last people that you should use. It's because they're not going to use better judgment than for self. You should put it into someone that's going to have a business savvy sense that makes sure that you're
especially with a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So, because Carolyn, everybody can't handle a lot of money.
Yeah.
No, you can.
And who knows your family better than you do?
That's right.
No one.
Okay.
You know exactly what that child, what that spouse, what that cousin, what that brother, sister will do, what they do with their money now, and the money they borrow from you now.
Right.
So you must put everything in place. You're a very business savvy person, as Trenard just stated. You have everything in order. Don't leave the wrong beneficiary. Then your estate, your life, your children's life, everything blow up when you pass away.
Don't want that to happen.
No.
A lot of other things happen with insurance. I can't find it. Pastor Eaton, Mama told me that she had insurance. Daddy told me he had insurance. Where is it? What do we say to the people about important papers? Where should they keep them?
We tell them to get a safety deposit box.
Okay, get a safe deposit box and put
place all your important papers in there.
Okay, now who should have a key?
And then give someone a key that is trustworthy. That trustworthy keep coming up.
All right.
Because there are some people you love, but you can't trust. So it's best to make sure that you have someone that you trust and give them a key and let them know that when upon my demise, you go in and take care of this business.
Now, Clifton, what about passwords? I know in this media savvy and this days and time, all these different passwords for different computers and iPads and iPhones. Who do you give your password to?
The person that you trust.
Got to be somebody you trust, okay? And then you have to really think about that, because how many friends do we really have that we can trust with us? It's the reason why I have a password.
Yeah.
Because I don't want
It's
you
to
in
keep
my
your
business,
friends
okay?
away.
But there's somebody I have to trust with that password.
And what you can actually do is you can maybe write those things down, or you can type them out. And then you also can make a copy, put in certain places, but also the person that you trust, make sure that you give them a copy. If you feel like they're not trustworthy enough, you can give them a key. And if you place it in that safe deposit box, it'll be there when they go to find everything that they need to do. You won't have any problems.
You don't have to give me the passwords today, but it needs to at least be in some type of will. It needs to be in some type of paperwork that I can get to at your demise. What do you think about that?
Very much so, John. You have to tell someone. And as I like to say all the time, you have to make yourself friendly in order to have a friend that you trust.
Okay.
So there's got to be somebody you confide in. Heaven forbid there is not. There are firms out there. There are attorney firms. There are all kind of security firms that are available to you, and that's why they are there. But someone needs to have access to your important papers, your passwords, know where everything is, or otherwise your business will not be taken care of when you pass away.
Trenard, who should have a will?
Everyone should have a will.
Everyone. What if I'm poor? What if I feel like I don't have anything to leave? Should I have a will?
Dr. Beckwith, that is the first person that should have the will.
Okay. The person that don't have all the money.
Yeah, exactly. Because we as a society, some people think only the super rich should have the will.
Exactly.
But that's not necessarily true. You should have a will to have all the things that you want in order. You need to make sure, like if your grandmother had dinner at her house every Sunday, in her will, she put certain things in place that she wants this to happen. And if you don't put all that in place, when she leaves the world, everybody just, like the glue just goes away.
And that happens so often, doesn't it, Carol?
Yes, it does.
You are the glue of your family. You need to give them some instructions after you pass away. If you have Sunday dinner as Trenard, and you want that to continue, you need to write that down.
You have to write it down, John, and we still see as too often, way too often, chaos and confusion.
Okay.
When there is no will. You need to leave those instructions for your family. You know they only listen to you. Write it down, and now we're in this technology age.
Exactly.
Video it. You can even video your will. They will see you. They will hear your voice and know. You know, there's sometimes there are children that are playing or they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. All mama has to do is speak. We're telling you now, speak from your death.
You have a will, Pastor Eaton?
Yes, sir.
Who do you have over that will?
I have my daughter over the will.
Okay.
But in case something should happen to my daughter, my granddaughter is next in line.
So you have some things in place.
In place.
What are you giving away in your will? What do you have to give away?
Well, I got 7 shirts, 7 suits, 7 ties. I'm complete all the way around.
So you do have something to give.
I have something
So you
to
don't
give.
have to have $70 million.
No, sir.
You could just have 7 suits.
Right.
But at least we need to know what to do with those,
With those 7
suits.
Yes, sir.
If someone passed away in your family and it would really put you or set you back, who would that person be, Clifton?
It would be my mother.
Your mother. So if your mother passed, it would be a setback for you. So if your mother had her funeral arrangements completely made out, a pre-need, and she left you plenty of money with the insurance, and she had a will in place, would that make it easier?
It would.
It would make it easier. What about you, Trinard? Who would be that one person in your life, if they pass away, would really set you back?
I think I would have to agree with Clifton. It would be my mother.
If your mother passed and you didn't have to come into the funeral home and make funeral arrangements because she had already did that, you just walk in and hand us a sheet of paper.
Right.
She had plenty of insurance, so you didn't have to worry about any money. And she had her directions written down. Would that make it easier for you?
That would remove so much pressure. The emotions that are associated with that anyway would be so detached from all the other stuff. It would be so much easier that that's done. I don't have to focus on any of that. I can just go through the mourning process. We can come together as a family and focus on the things that we need to focus on and appreciate that she has everything that she wanted. And that's what we can be comfortable with.
So, Carolyn, as a mother, we know, because both of us have buried our mother, how difficult it is to do that. We shouldn't be so selfish that we don't have those 3 things in place.
Got to, John. And then our mother had that insight years and years ago.
Right.
She had a pre-need, she had insurance, and more importantly, she had a will. We walked in that room, there were so many things going on in our mind, but as soon as we read it, we were comfort and we took care of business.
So we tell all the mothers out there, all the fathers, anyone that you have, anyone that you're going to leave behind, be sure and make sure those 3 things are in place. And remember to watch Ask the Undertaker every Saturday night right here on channel 47.2 at 7 o'clock p.m. and every Sunday morning on channel 21 at 5:30 a.m. And Carolyn, you know my favorite.
The radio show.
The radio show every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 o'clock a.m. on Heaven 97. That's 970 a.m. on your dial. And Pastor Eaton, you can watch us 24 hours a day on what?
YouTube.
On YouTube. And go out to GoldenGateFuneralHome.com. May God bless you and keep you is our prayer.
We are stepping up the level of our services. Our goal is to treat your loved ones with the respect they deserve. We are taking our services to new heights. We are stepping in a new direction. Step into the new millennium with Golden